Welcome to BasketballHeadzz Live. I'm your host, Glenn Poole Harding, and tonight we have a very special guest. This basketball head once was headed down the wrong path when his mentor and coach, the late great Gil Reynolds, steered him in the right direction towards academics and sports. He then went on to become an Erasmus Hall great, with his jersey retired in the rafters. After leading E Hall in scoring his senior year, he attended Lamar College for a year. Then came back home to the city to attend FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology. Once there, he proved he belonged back on the Division I basketball stage. So he accepted a scholarship to Iona College. After graduating Iona, he transitioned into the financial services. But his pride and joy is the Funsport program, where he's the founder and CEO in his neighborhood of Brownsville, Brooklyn. Help me welcome to the show Erasmus Hall great and Funsport CEO, Ricky Rivers.
Y'all ready? Yeah. You have just stepped out into the world of chaos, where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. East Coast, go hard. West Coast, go hard. Midwest, go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody, get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
What's up,
Saturday, my brother.
I'm good, man. I appreciate that intro, man. That was solid, man. I feel very important and very special right now, man.
Nah, it's all good, my brother. It's all good. That's what we doing, basketball heads, man. You're a guy who's shaping, the culture of basketball in New York City, man. So we had to get you on here, man.
Nah, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate everybody that's involved with it. I know Ray Haskins has his hands involved in the show as well. That's the legend right there, man. So
he's the godfather of the show, man. So
man, that's the right guy.
To Coach.
That's the right guy, man. So I love what you're doing, man. And I was watching a little bit of the Terrence Richard one, and Terrence Richard was my guy too. So I'm in good company.
Oh man, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So what I like to do with everybody, first question to jump off the show is, who introduced you to the game?
Hey, so just the game itself, I feel like the person that you mentioned in the intro, Gil Reynolds, gets a lot of the credit for Ricky Rivers, man. So Gil Reynolds, I've played basketball. When I grew up over in Farragut Project, started out there. I played at the Boys and Girls Club like every day, the Navy Yard Boys and Girls Club. And you just playing, man. Like I played in Brownsville, when moving there, played with Harry O with the Brownsville Hornets. So I just played ball, you know what I mean, in the beginning. But I think things started to really kind of like go off when I kind of got with Gil Reynolds and really understood what I could do playing basketball. So I played a lot, but then you know how you could play a lot, and then there's a guy that molds you and shows you how to play and how to take this game serious. It's like, I think if I would have kept on just playing a lot, I probably would have never had the opportunities that I came into. So Gil gets the credit, man. Definitely, for sure.
Oh man, that's awesome. And it's crazy because I don't know who it was who mentioned the Brownsville Hornets, but I kind of corrected him. I was like, nah, maybe you're talking about the Brownsville Jets. Tell me a little something about the Brownsville Hornets.
So in Brownsville, so like when I moved, I was kind of like, I tell you, Farragut Projects for a while till I was around 10, 11 years old. And I used to come back and forth to Brownsville like every weekend. I was living in Farragut with my mom. But when I started to live in Farragut, I started living in Brownsville like 12 years old full time. The person that I got on with that I wanted to play with because I wasn't going to Boys and Girls Club no more was Harry O. Harry O lived in the next building right across the street, right around the corner. I lived on Blake and Rockaway. Harry O lived on Rockaway right there between Blake and Sutter. So I would go play with Harry O in a couple of tournaments. And playing with Harry-O, if you're a Brownsville dude or if you know, Harry-O had his own little week. Harry-O had his own stuff. You know what I mean? And I love Harry-O, man. So I ain't say the quick, but Harry-O had his own way of doing things. His heart was real good, though. His heart was good, man. And he had talent. He had Junior. He had a whole bunch of talent that was playing on that team. I did a small little stretch with Harry-O playing with some of the guys in the hood. But it was good for me, man. I made more friends playing with him in the neighborhood when I transitioned over. So that time was good, but, it was crazy sometimes.
My man Jay Gilliam said he used to work out Lost Battalion Hall in Queens with Gil.
Oh man, Jay Gilliam is my guy, man. That's my guy down in Miami right now. If he's checking in, that's good. But Jay Gilliam would tell you with Gil, like I tell you, like I feel like Jay Gilliam was with the star guys. He played with Vincent Smith. They worked out on the other end. So, but honestly, Jay could tell you, and I think I told him this story, is like they became my motivation, man. Jay Gilliam would be on one side. You had Kenny Anderson on that side, Abdul Fox. You had Kenny Smith sometime would check in, Stephen Frazier. You had all of these guys that were star players in high school that was playing on that side of the court. And then you had me on the other side of the court with Gil Reynolds, was me and a bunch of guys you probably wouldn't even remember right now, Rich Espison and different guys. So we was the blue-collar workers just looking. So I would always look down the court on that side when I was working out. I'd be taking it serious. But I seen guys on the other end who I needed to chase. Jason Gilliam probably being one of them. And I remember Rich Ashmead was one of those guys who played in my position. He was one of those guys who I had on my list. I was like, I need to get there. I wasn't there at the time when I was coming in the beginning, Jay would say, but those was good times, man. I'm getting Jay build it up because that's a big part of my development. And here's why. I lived in Brownsville. You know what Lost Battalion Hall is. You from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You know how that's not an easy ride to get to Lost Battalion Hall.
Right.
So for me to get on the L train or whatever to make all those transfers to ultimately get to Queens, it took me about an hour and some change just to get to Queens. And Jay could tell you the workouts was at early in the morning. They was early in the morning. They was like at 9 o'clock in the morning. So you gotta get yourself up to get ready to get out there, and then you work out, and the workouts was good. And every now and then we had that special joint where we kind of like mix it up. And I see my man Keith Stroud checking in.
I was just about to say it.
Because me and Keith was like, and we talked about it, and we jumping around. But Keith knows how big Gil Reynolds is to not just me, to him too. He's a big part of our development because. Like Keith, where I say we those cats from Brownsville that sometimes we could go down this street and go do something wrong, or we could go down this street and do something right. You know what I'm saying? And I think Gil pulled us out of some things, out of some darkness, and kind of helped us get it right. I was one of those who I know I really benefited at the right time from Gil because I was about to do a sharp left down the wrong road. You know what I mean? And Gil got me at that right time and helped me understood. Nah, you could really do something by playing basketball. The way just because you can shoot the basketball. And I didn't really know that until Gil introduced me to it. So I get a ton of respect for him, ton of respect for Vincent Smith and all those guys giving me something to aspire to. Jason Gilliam, Steve Frazier, all those guys, Kenny Anderson, beating me up, especially the Kenny Smith. Jay, you wasn't there at the time that me and Malik Russell played Abdul Fox and Kenny Smith 2-on-2 that we mixed the workouts at Lost Battalion Hall. It was a 2-on-2. I got Kenny Smith right after the Rockets championship, and Malik got Abdul Fox. Kenny Smith must have hit 10 straight shots on me and made me want to quit playing basketball.
Move the phone back some.
Okay. Kenny Smith must have hit 10 straight shots and made me almost want to quit playing basketball, man. But Malik had to switch. Me and Abdul Fox started the matchup before that, and it was clear because Fox would check in. We matched up in that moment on the 2-on-2, and we later will be matched up playing against each other in Rhode Island on the court, too. We always talk about that 2-on-2 that we played to the point where Abdul Fox was on SportsCenter all the time, and now I got to try to help put his fire out.
Well, let me tell you something. I was a student of Gil Reynolds as well when he used to be having workouts at 309 Park. With Gary Shears and Joe Jackson, those guys. I was a young guy just trying to learn the fundamentals. And when I made Lincoln team as a freshman, I would go to Gil like on the weekends and get my fundamentals sharp. So by the time I went
Yep.
back to Bobby Hartstein, what he taught me was sharper than what he saw me, that prior week. Because I would go to Gil that weekend, and Gil would just tighten it up. So we all are students of Gil, man.
Man, Gil. I've watched a lot of coaches do it. Gil was just a different type of person, man. And I love that dude. I owe him a lot. I wish I was here to kind of to pay it forward to him. I try to just do that.
Yeah.
Just the things that I. You still got me? You can still hear me?
Yeah, I think you're buffering, right? Yeah. We here.
I'm back. Yeah. I just had to touch the Wi-Fi button. I'm gonna make sure that we good. So I think we clear now. So yeah, Gil was that dude, man. Gil was that dude. I didn't go to prep, but he was very important to me. We there because I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to stay in one spot. I'm trying to get to it. Yeah, so Gil was really important to me, man. He was really important to my development, man.
Yeah, Keith was just saying he taught him how to play the game when he was down at Lombard.
Yep. Yeah, Keith went down to Lombard with Gil. I didn't make that trip down there.
Yeah, so what was it like growing up in Brownsville for you? You kind of gave me a little grasp of it. I know what it's like being from Brooklyn and all, but tell the rest of the world what it's like growing up in Brownsville.
Glenn, I'm trying to.
And when Keith get up here,
I think we're a little bit better.
I think I for Brownsville. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
Yeah, ask me the question again, man. I want to get. So, what was the question again?
I was asking you, what was it like growing up for you in Brownsville? You gave me kind of a little scope of it.
Yeah. Well, growing up in Brownsville, for me was good, man. I think like being there, I had more family. I had some support there. Playing for, being in Brownsville always gives you that toughness. So we used to play like on Brownsville. I grew up on Blake and Rockaway, right? So I'm not sure if you remember if it goes back, but right there on Osborne Street, we used to have the BNBA. It's called the Brownsville BNBA, and the games used to be packed. This is what I remember as a kid. The games would be super packed out there. People would actually be on the roof. They would be in the trees, and everybody would be watching from their windows at the game. I had my window where I was at. I could see right to the court if the trees wasn't crazy at that time. So I used to be watching.
Who are some of the people out there playing? Who are some of the people out there playing?
So the game that I remember watching that really had me in awe was Pearl and Ice was on the same team. Jerry Ice Reynolds and Pearl Washington was on the same team.
Whoa, and when make some noise for that. Hold on, let's make some noise for that, man. That's big right there.
Yo, I remember that.
Let's do that.
Yo.
For sure.
Gee, that game was so packed. All the other names out there that would be out there, I don't remember that, but I remember Pearl and Ice being on the same team. And I remember as a youngin' me running to the front and getting the glimpse of Ice playing with the jump shot, killing. And I was like, and you fall in love. You fell in love with the crowd. You fell in love with the ambiance. You want to go out there and work on your game, hopefully that you could play in that limelight too. But I remember that being a big thing for us. And that's one. And then later on, going to the hole over there in Van Dyke and watching games in Brownsville there. So I grew up right there in the thick of it, man. And like they said, they had the chain courts right there in the middle. So that was big, man. Like we used to have the chain courts right there in Brownsville, and the games would be lit. But before that, Cassie, I know that, like I'm not sure you remember Cassie Folks that used to play for the Boys and Girls.
Listen, I played against Cassie when he was at the high. Trust me. Yeah.
Cassie lived in the next building from us, and when he became a freshman at the high and had so much success, he come back to the hood. We all felt a part of that too. And I remember, Cassie was older than us, but what they don't meant, we used to have runs every Sunday morning right there on that court. Cassie would come out. They call him to the window. He come out. Vinny Vegas, I'm not sure you remember V. V would gather everybody up in Brownsville, and we would have games. So one time, this is how it goes. One time they were short a man. Me being a little kid over there, always get on the court. They had to kick off the court. They needed 10. They picked me up. They picked me up, yeah. They picked me up. So I was the 10th man on a day when it was short. Next thing you know, it was part of the game. Somebody passed me the ball. I was open. They said, shoot it. I pulled it from me. It wasn't no three-point lines there, but I knocked it down. All the cats, you know, I was a little hungry. I was a little kid. They all grabbed me, picked me up. Shorty knocked it down. And and it was the cat Keith Barnes in the hood. He always tell me, remember, I passed you the ball. That was his kind. Every time he see me, before he gave me that 5, from that point, he always say, remember, I passed you the ball. But those was all confidence builders, though.
That's right.
Those was all confidence builders. Now I'm playing with like, so, you started, now I played with the big homies and I scored. When I played with my guys, I got to dominate my age group now because I'm confident. You know what I mean? So all of that played a part in it, man. Brownsville, helped me kind of like grow.
Let me tell you, you can't imagine how many guys who said they got better playing with the older guys.
Absolutely.
Countless of guys who have came on this show and said the same exact things. And I think sometimes the kids now, they get it twisted and feel like, well, if I'm not on the AAU circuit, if I'm not playing against this guy, not knowing, if you just work on your craft and keep doing what you're doing, somebody gonna find you.
Yo, good, but this year should be a testament to that. Like this year, all the AAU stuff shut down. The pandemic shut everything down. What you had to do, you had to go to the park because the gyms is closed. You had to go back to the park. You had to take your game back to the essence. Everybody had to do that this year. So the kids should have been in the park honing their skills up, playing against some of the older guys, because now that's the only thing you could do in 2020, really.
That's right.
So you had to kind of take your game back out to the park. You had to go back to the essence, the things like me and you and the older guys tell the young guys. That's what you got to do right now, champ. You can't. There's no AAU practice. You can't get out there and run up and down inside the court on the wood courts. You got to go into the park where you could, you know what I'm saying, and hone your skills.
Playing in the gym was a privilege. My man John Arnold, he said it. Playing in the gym was a privilege to us, because he said a lot of kids scared to play on the concrete. Concrete?
Yeah.
You better get out there and work on your game.
Absolutely, man. But like you said, we learned a lot playing against the older guys. But sometimes even though if the younger guys go out there, the older guys is not in the parks as much either. And they need to kind of like be out in the parks. And we need to kind of have that energy that we had when we was little, where the older guys mentored the younger guys. They was out there for them to pay their dues. Everybody's into, New York is so fast paced. Everybody's into something different. Everybody's into something, and we ain't got that type of energy that much anymore. But hopefully we can start to kind of regain that back, man.
Yeah, it would have been nice, if we would have had the parks open for a good amount of time where we could have scheduled some things, had some of the older guys from college come down, some of the ex-pros come down who are still playing, some of these guys who are playing 35 and 40 over.
Yeah.
They come play against these high school guys and kind of mix it up.
That would be good, man. So like now, if coaches is listening to this, you got high school coaches, everybody who listen to you, there might be opportunities where you need to get scrimmage games in. You need to kind of like get some work in, some bump with your kids before they kind of like maybe invite some of those older guys to kind of come in your gym and kind of like, you know what I mean, and say, yo, I'll use you to bump against my high school guys. I need them to feel that physicality. I need them to get pushed around, all of that stuff, so that helps them prepare. That helps them kind of like get through this, because sometimes I don't think iron is sharpening iron enough in New York. Kind of like it's not sharpening the iron enough in New York. Everybody wants to be great at what they do at every time, not just in the game, but even in practice. You want to be great. You got to go through the wars in practice, so that way when you get to the games, it's a lot easier. So we need more of that type of stuff, man, and that just comes with the good synergy that we get around the synergy city. We need more of that.
Definitely. Now, with you running your tournaments and programs of that nature, when you was coming up, what kind of summer leagues did you play in, or what summer leagues did you play in?
Yeah, you know what? When I came up, so like I say, Gil Reynold got me started. Gil Reynold is the reason that I got to Lamar Community College and went out to Colorado. Gil Reynold is the reason that, I was averaging 30 points a game in my senior year at high school because, you know, I'm going to get to your question.
Hold on. Yo, fam. Yo, because look, I know a lot of kids, they see you running things and being CEO, being the head man, and not knowing you had game, fam. So when you say you average 30 points, don't just say like, yo, I just averaged 30 points, because that shit is not regular, fam, okay? That shit is not regular.
Yeah,
Let's bring that back, fam. Let's bring that back.
I definitely appreciate that, man. I appreciate kind of like talking about it. But it did happen, man. I would say it was actually 28.9 you had, but you know, I round that up to a 30 piece, 28.9. So that was a part of my, but what went into that though, what I don't want to escape for people who are looking is that I used to do 2 a days, man. Like I remember this vivid thing. I remember getting prepared to play against Donald Taylor at Prospect Heights when Donald Taylor was nice, right? We play against Prospect Heights. He's playing in my school. Gil is like, we got to come. I used to work out at Jackie Robinson. I lived in Brownsville. I would work out at Jackie Robinson facility that was on McDonough, and I think that's what Troy Ave turned into. I don't know if that's Malcolm X or whatever.
Yeah.
That school right there. I would go there every day because Gil worked there. And when I say every day, besides Sunday, but every day that building was open, I was in that school working out and shooting. So I got prepared for that game for Donald Taylor. He was kind of like, we went through shots after shots to prepare for that game. So that game in our school, which is a big game for us at the time my senior year, Donald Taylor, they end up winning the game close. Donald Taylor has 46, I have 42. But what I'm saying,
did he tape for that game?
But that's the stats. He has 46, I have 42. Great game. I'm getting double teamed and playing the boxing one though, but we don't have the skill to do that. Either way, he wins the game. But the part I'm getting to is after that, I call Gil on the phone. How'd you do? You know, because he didn't come to the game. I have 42 down, but we lost. I'm tight that we lost. That's how it was. I'm tight we lost. How long is it going to take you to get to the gym, though? I go straight from the game, from Erasmus Hall, after the game, pissed, get on the train, go to Jackie Robinson, and we go over again shot after shot. These are what people don't know about. And we go back to the gym in Bed-Stuy. I don't go to Brownsville. I go to Bed-Stuy after a 42-point game. Go get shots up. I must have shot about 300 and went over shots that I missed, went over all of this stuff to kind of like, to get me, because to what Gil put me on, it's not about that game. It was about getting into college. It was about, this is the work. And plus, you know, like what my situation was, and Stroud probably know too, he listening, you go to Brownsville, you know, you don't want to go there too early. So things could go any way. So I go drain myself out, do my homework at Jackie Rob, put more shots up, come back home, go to sleep, and do it all over again.
It's funny because Terrence Renton said the same thing last night, right? Your guy Keith said, I remember me and the 13-year-old kid getting up at 8 a.m., going to BRC, playing Jock, Fly Bear, Kurt, man. And I remember Jock picking me up one time after it was over.
Keith was a great player, man. Keith was a great player. I mean, I watched him play. He, you know, that back down game, turn around, jump shot, fade away. I remember Keith Stroud having that in his repertoire.
Yo, that shit was just so disgusting because like
that in his game.
Dude 6'8" and 6'9" couldn't stop that shot. And it would be fucking funny.
Yeah, Keith had that. but Keith know, and that's why when me and him talk, we got something that we connect with that everybody don't always connect with. We get that Gil teaching, that Gil thought, that, you know what I mean, that gave us that's different. And that's why me and him had always talking. And Keith, I'm sorry that the pandemic got in the way, because we was on pace to do something special for Gil in his name, but we still gonna work on it. When I get back to Tillery Park, that's gonna be a part of the programming where we bring high school teams in to kind of pay homage to Gil Reynolds and make sure that people know, these young people know how much of a basketball mind that we lost, man. That he, you know, I got that much respect.
I definitely want to be there for that, man, because I'm definitely a student of Gil.
Glenn, I got away from the question though, so I think, like I said, once I got to college though, I came back from Colorado and I transferred closer to FIT. That was a transition from Gil Reynolds to Mr. Couch. Mr. Couch took over. Once I got to college, he took over from there from Gil, and he started to mentor and mold me. So everything about what I did after that, I played with Mr. Couch, with Dykeman. And that's why something with my joint, I didn't play with a lot of people. Gil wouldn't let me play with Riverside at one point wanted to get me to come try out to play. Gil wouldn't let me play with nobody else. It was just with him. I couldn't play with nobody else. So I don't have like this experience in my joint where I played with mad teams and I went around, did that. I didn't do that. And because of that loyalty with Gil, I kept the same loyalty with Mr. Couch. I only played with Mr. Couch, unless it was something that he wasn't playing in. Like I played with Kenny Kings for a quick stint, but that really wasn't my basketball game.
Listen, fam, you don't got, like I told you, I am a student of Gil. One of my questions was, did you play AAU or did you just play with Gil? And I could turn you around and show you the question. Because I already know. It's either or. You're either going to go and play with AAU over here or you're going to play with Gil. There's no other way. No,
he wouldn't let me play with nobody else. But with Gil, you respected it because you was getting better. He was pushing you. And if you didn't, you know what I mean, he probably fucked you up in practice. You know what I'm saying? I seen him bust a cat in the mouth. I seen him. I ain't gonna
tell you to go get your father.
Go get your father. Go get your father. I seen that. I seen that happen. Facts. That happened. And I know he was worse. I caught him on the downside of his year, so I know he was worse back then. But I seen him rip a cat. I seen him rip a cat whole jersey with his pinky finger. I seen that happen. But
and then tighten his watch. And then tighten his watch.
All that stuff, man. I wish the kids listen. Gil was a different kind of breed. And, you had him on one side that was a general. He was like an army guy. You had Vincent Smith on the other side when we used to be at Lost Battalion. That was like a guru, man. Like, he break down the game with those glasses and those knock knees. And he break the game down different. And he is, you know what I mean? So it was good tutelage that I got coming up, you know what I mean, that I think, and you know the part, Glenn? We ain't pay nothing. We didn't pay no $25 a session. We didn't pay no $30 a session. No disrespect to nobody who might be listening. No disrespect.
Yo, but this what I'm telling you.
We didn't do that.
I don't want to spend time on my show knocking these guys because I understand people got to take care of their family.
Absolutely. So if it's an opportunity for that, you get it. I ain't going to. But
we just got to look at the product that we're serving now, because we trying to put out good basketball product right now. It's not helping.
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Yeah, we gonna do that. All right.
Nobody doing that.
We know that. I was about to ask you the question because you kind of got to it already.
Okay, let's go.
Who asked you, Bus, to let you know you was one of the top players? But when you and Donald doing 42 and 46, did you top that?
I mean, I've had some good games, and I'll be honest, I don't try to lie. I've had some good games against people, and I've had some games where I've had a hard time guarding people. Like I could say I had a hard time guarding Seth Marshall one time.
Ooh.
I had a hard time guarding Seth Marshall. I love that guy, but Seth was a different type of breed, you know what I mean? But the other time, like I could say, who was really good, I didn't have a hard time guarding Corey Williams, the dancer, sometimes when we matched up. Maybe because of the relationships, I was able to kind of. I didn't say that I won.
Now we talking about Corey Williams from Brooklyn.
From Brooklyn, I didn't have a hard time guarding him, but he's had moments we had me because he's the dancer. You know, I used to have a hard time guarding Lamont Jones. He was so tricky. Lamont Jones had a different kind of herky jerky work. It was hard to kind of like to guard Lamont Jones because he would look to pass, but he could take you off the dribble and do creative stuff. So Lamont was, I think I was just fortunate to be in games, you know what I mean, to be in the moment sometimes. I think because of my preparation, if you ask me, Glenn, if I didn't have the preparation through Gil and others, I probably would have been a D2 cat. I probably wouldn't have never played college ball. Who knows?
Wow.
But because I got the Gil, and then because I got the Jim Couch, who got mad props, and he got he got respect, I'm able to get in the door and then earn my way through that. Not to say that I wasn't talented enough I couldn't play, but I had to make that. I had to make it. You know how some cats is born with it? All they got to do is just keep playing. Now I had to make mine. I had to earn mine.
That's real, man. Who did you pattern your game after?
I'm trying to think. When you get to college, I was guys that I was looking at. Remember Rodney Monroe that used to play for NC State?
Yeah.
I felt close to. I felt like my game kind of was similar to his. I remember always kind of like saying Money Row. I used to always say Money Row when I was playing you know what I mean, and trying to pattern his game, 1-2, pull up, 1-2, you know, shoot, go off the dribble, jab, step, pull up. My joint was basically fundamentals. I was fundamentals. As you know, for a second, I think I lost a part of my game that I could have gained, and I'm gonna give this cat a shout out, but he messed me up a little bit and helped me a little bit. You remember Bob Cunningham from Bed-Stuy?
Yes. Was that a basketball ball?
Basketball Bob. That's my guy. He live in Australia right now. So Basketball Bob, when I was playing in Colorado, he was sitting out. But Bob used to inspire me. Bob used to always say, like, nobody could guard you. You could shoot the basketball. Nobody can guard you. None of that. So what Bob did, he helped me in the way, right? Because, well, you know how you practice on shooting threes. We used to always shoot threes a lot in Colorado. But for what Bob would say is that we're not going to shoot on the three-point line. We always practice from the hash mark and back. The hash mark and back. That's what we practiced every day. And in Colorado, all you did was play ball. That was all you could do was play ball. There was nothing else to do outside of that. And we practiced from the hash mark and back with Bob. So he added that to my game. The one thing he messed my game up with is Bob used to have this move that he showed me where he used to put it through a guy's legs. He used to try to do the crossover and you put it through a guy's legs. So now I got that move, and what I thought is I got a handle. I started to think I had a crazy yo-yo handle.
Right.
The cat through the leg. Then he had me come out and play with Kenny Kings for a minute, and you be out there with them. The next thing you know, you trying to do the one-on-one shit. But the real strength of my game was shooting the basketball. So I was messing up part of my game by thinking I had a handle and trying to be tricky and trying to throw it through a cat's legs when I really should have been pulling up from like 40 feet. Because I had that to my game, and I got away from it trying to be like Bob. So that's my guy. I always tell him that story.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So you leave FIT and you go to Iona.
Yeah.
Was there any other school looking at you besides Iona?
So when you had Rippy, who was the coach there, Rippy is not the connected cat. Rippy was trying to get me to go to Dowling or Pace University or whatever. And the backup, when I was in Colorado, I played in Lamar. We played in Kansas. We played in Texas. We played in Texas. We played all the top junior colleges. We played Southwood. And let me just tell you my good stories in Colorado. So we played at Barton County the first time. I lay an egg. This is my first time playing in major basketball. They got the Mr. Basketball of Colorado. They got cheerleaders. They got all kind of stuff that I had never seen at Erasmus. I was sorry that first tournament of mine. We played Barton County, then we play Independence. Didn't play well. We go on a Texas road trip. We play Howard. I come out of my shell. I got 36 in the game, and I had to leave the game by getting undercut with 9 minutes left. I left the game with 9:36 left in the game with 36 points. I was on my way to a 50 ball. Because this dude was Mr. Basketball in the state of Buffalo or something like that. Cracked him. So that started my engine going. The next day, and I guess the next day we go to Odessa. We go to that tournament next in Odessa. We play against South Plains. South Plains got like the #1 team in the country. They got Bo Outlaw, and they had Corey Beck, who's a top player at the time. He was a McDonald All-American who had signed with Arkansas. Corey Beck sent me from the tip-off. You know how you come together for the jump ball? He nigga give me that and was like, "You Ricky Rivers? I'm gonna bust your ass today." That's what he said to me from the tip-off. He said this shit from the tip-off.
Knowing you from Brooklyn, Brownsville especially.
He said this from the tip-off, but I didn't say nothing back because I'm a little bit concerned. This is make up. They end up beating us, but I finished with a 25 ball, and he had like 23. So I played. If you ask Bo out, I played the best out of that game. The next day we play Odessa. We lost that. We play Odessa the next night. The 2 guard from Odessa come up say the same thing. You ain't gonna be doing that shooting today. Right at the tip-off. I don't know what this is about the Odessa air. Right at the tip-off, he say this joint. 3 straight threes, timeout, and I go in their huddle talking shit. Talking. And we won the next game. I was first team all tournament with that. And, you know, and who was there was Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino was there because he's recruiting Rodney Dent. So he tells my coach, you know, says some favorable stuff about me. Yeah, I want to keep my eye on that guy. He was pretty good because I had a really good tournament that time. That was one of my best tournaments I think I had all in college. Was that tournament. But I got no tape to prove it, but I'm only going to tell you the facts.
Hey, listen, it's all real.
And then I had a few good games. We played against Hutchinson. I had a good game against Darren Hancock. He was pretty good. He was an All-American that went to Kansas. But when you get to college, so when you go to FIT, everything is like scaled back. So when I'm at Colorado, I got Duquesne. Washington State wanted to sign me right then. They wanted me to come and sit out a year. So I was getting recruited by Division Ones because I was in that limelight. I was in that play where everybody's getting looked at. So I'm getting recruited by major D1s. Duquesne wanted to sign. Washington State wanted me to come. Rick Pitino saying, hey, this guy's interesting, but not saying that he didn't offer me. I'm not going that far. But he just thought I was interested by what he seen play. So worth another look. But then you get to FIT, there's no looks there because it's a different conference. But we go undefeated. I got them ranked in the top 15. We end up, the only time we lost was in the championship game. I had several good games. So Mr. Couch was like, if you do your job, here's the options. You either could go, because I wanted to stay local. The only part is why I came home is because I had a baby, and I was not going to go nowhere else but New York. So I was going to stay close to home, and Mr. Couch knew that. I got married when I was at FIT as well. So it was like it was local. So I wasn't even going to hear another college outside of close to home. So Mr. Couch was like, here's the options. You could go to Iona or you could go to St. John's. St. John's, you understand that Felipe is going to sign there. Iona,
Felipe years.
Iona, you could go, and more than likely you could play right away, but you got to sit out. Either way, you got to sit out a year. So I was like, scratch St. John's, not going there, not even going to try that. I got 2 years, I'm not doing that. Iona had already had some interest in, because when I was in high school, I had went to visit the school and talk with the coach. So there was some familiarity with the assistant coaches that was there.
Right.
So Iona it was, but the head coach recruited me to go to Iona. So I sat out a year and played that.
All right. I want to straighten some things out.
Yep.
Tooth and Keith Stroud going back and forth about Corey Williams averaging 70. Tooth, Corey did not average 70, and he did not play for the White brothers. I played with the Wright brothers. Corey played with Primetime. So that means Anthony Mason, Speedy, and 5 other guys, named guys who was on that team.
You talking about Corey Williams, the dancer?
Yes.
I never know.
He didn't average 70 points. It went for. He did his numbers, but not 70 points. So
Corey Williams could definitely put up some numbers. I just never know him to average 70 points.
No. He maybe probably did that one game, but not the whole summer.
Maybe the other homicide, Corey Williams, probably, because he scores like crazy, but not 70.
Yeah, but he didn't average 70 either a whole summer. So I'm not even going to say that.
I don't think I haven't heard of anybody that I know that average 70. That's a hell of a feat.
That's 70. Crazy.
But
yeah,
Corey Williams is definitely capable of.
Oh, that's my guy. Trust me.
He could
put
guy. 70 up in the game. So,
yes, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. So, okay. And Stroud was also saying Columbia also and Lamar College with Gil schools who he had connections with as well.
Yeah.
So
that's Gil got me to Lamar. Gil's the one that got me to Lamar. He brought the coach. He had the coach fly all the way from Colorado, and they met me at what's the park right there at the L train at the junction. They met me right at the junction in the park, and I signed the letter of intent on an old car.
Look at that.
Yep.
The old-fashioned way. People don't know about that.
On the old car. That's exactly how it worked. I ain't had no parents there, and nobody there to kind of help me, guide me. It was just Coach Gil making it happen.
And he had your best interest. He's not going to put you in a bad situation.
I trusted him. I mean, that's why I said that. I trusted him with everything.
So I speak to a lot of different players about the transitional part of their life, right? Which you just got into a little bit, right? Because a lot of youngsters need to know sooner or later you're going to have to transition into the real world. That's going to happen no matter what. I don't care if you played in the NBA, because it happened to Ross Strickland. After playing 17 years in the NBA, he came to that transitional point in his life. And it's not easy.
Yeah.
Right? What did you do to help you transition into the real world?
Yo, the one when I was going to college, I had a good friend, and you might know his name, Malik Russell, right? He went to Poly Prep, played at South Carolina, played at Notre Dame. We were really good friends going through college, whatever. He had, because of his thing, he had an internship that he was working at in the city, and he pulled me with him. So I was able to kind of get a job with him and kind of like get some exposure to the financial world a little bit. We worked at a spot called Jordan Industries that we worked at together. He had a different pay rate than I did, but I was involved though. You know what I mean? I got involved and I got some exposure and I learned and I kind of went about it just how I know it is to go about it the blue collar way, just to learn it and kind of like develop. That kind of like gave me a little bit of an experience and a little step into the financial world, which kind of like piqued my interest and know that's where I was going. When I had the one thing I'll tell you about my journey, when I was in Iona, when I went to that first year and I had to sit out, I didn't stay on campus, because I told you I was married. I didn't stay on campus. So my journey was I lived in Sunset Park over here in Brooklyn. I would have to get on the train, take it to 42nd Street, get on the Metro North, take that to New Rochelle, and start out for an 8:30 class. You know what I'm saying? So that was my journey. That's what I did all through the year that I sat out. And I did that all through my junior year of Iona. So I just want to tell you how that part to answer that question. All of that stuff kind of made me who I am today. It was all work. Like I had to get up. Like when I got to the year when I was playing, I was still making that journey from Sunset Park all the way to Iona for a class. And then you do 2 a days. You in preseason, you do your conditioning. Then you do some workouts with the coaches. You got class. And then I'm back on the Metro North doing my homework and everything back home to 2 kids and my wife, whatever, and then turning right back around and do it again for a few years. So all that kind of like made me with the, you know what I'm saying, to kind of give me that perseverance and all that stuff I needed. I was end up getting internships, or jobs during the summer that I was working too in some companies. I was, one of the top alumni worked at KPMG, Pete Marwick. I was working at that accounting firm for like 2 or 3 straight summers, building up my resume or whatever while I was working there. So when I get to my senior year, I get a call that things just don't go right for me in my senior year. We was about to go to Notre Dame. Me and the coach was having problems anyway. I mean, I could tell you we could go and get into Iona. We was just having problems. I had to step away from the team. The AD decided, okay, you can step away from the team and you can keep your scholarship. They fired the coach a week later. Tim Welsh takes over. They go on a run. They start winning games. The captain of the team asks, can we bring Ricky back on the team? Tim Welsh says no. So now when you say that transition, that's when the transition started. I'm not playing for the team no more. I already know I'm not going overseas because I tell you I got a family. I'm not going overseas. So now it's time to focus, get your degree, get your connects in, and start to kind of like focus on life after basketball and start working on career choices and stuff like that. Because overseas was never something that I was planning for. Even though Mr. Couch said he had some, that was one thing. I got some relationships for you. We could get you overseas to do. I'm not going overseas for no 30 or 40,000. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, trust me. Been there, done that.
Yeah. That just wasn't for me. That wasn't for me at the time. I understood. For everybody that did the grind, I respect it because sometimes you got to establish a resume before you could get to the big money. But I just wasn't ready to take that journey. You know what I mean? I was already into what I was doing with family and all that. Family's always been like, pivotal for me. Yeah.
Keith said dealing with coach made you tough. And that means you can handle anything. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what was thrown at you, he put you in that situation, you turn that concrete, you made a rose grow through that.
Yeah,
not just do something grand where kids now are benefiting from it because of what coach did for you early on.
Absolutely.
Right?
You're 100% right about that.
Look then, I tell people, you may not be that guy who make it to the NBA, right? You may not be in the locker room. You may not have the All-American stature. But if you changing people's lives, that's the best thing right there.
And I think that's kind of like been my place, man. I think I've always knowing, my background, what I've experienced, what I've kind of like gone through with my whole journey. I've always been just trying to pay it forward to the people who kind of like got me here. And that's been Gil Reynolds. Mr. Couch is still here, so I can still talk with him. But Gil, you know what I mean? Just really trying to like do stuff that I know he probably would have done if he was still here. You know what I mean? And using to be real with you, I didn't expect to be doing this stuff, Glenn. I mean, I'm talking about it like this wasn't even in the plans. Like, let me tell you how this started. I'm living in Sunset Park, Borough Park, and these cats wanted to see Booger Smith play. And tell you, I had already played with Kenny Kings. So I got to shout out Kenny Kings. I always say Kenny King started this show because I play with him. They wanted to see Booger over here. They said, yo, can you get Booger to come to the park? I said, let me put together a little weekend tournament because I had played ball with everybody. I was still playing ball. And put together a little tournament. I asked Kenny, yo, Kenny, I'm putting together a tournament for a weekend. Would you come and support? Kenny brought Bugs. He brought Bam. He brought Kev. He brought all of these cats. He brought a little crew. And Bugs came, and I had like 3 or 4 other teams, local teams, and my guy from East New York. And that's how it started. And then the hood was like, yo, since you did that, we're going to give you the gym, and could you run another tournament? And I was like, you know what? I had put some work in. I said, I created a fireball tournament. I got Sid Jones with Reality Check. I got
Sid
X-Men.
Jones, salute Sid. That's my guy.
I got X-Men with D'Antanian. I had Papo All-Stars.
Papo All-Stars, another one of my guys.
Yeah, they played. This was the first real tournament out of the gate, and I had a couple of other teams. I had my team. I put it in there. So we had a bunch of good players at that time where I really didn't know that these, you know, when you look back at it, it's like, damn, I had a really, you know, straight, or everybody was coming down playing in Sunset Park, the little pool joint. And then that kind of like just started the whole joint going, man. Then I created another tournament because these kids, and then it just started to spiral. So, and then what happens is there's an opening at Nike, and my Ray Diaz, and it was like, yo, we need to get Brimmer in that seat. And yo, Rick, can you vouch for the corporate side of it? Because, you know, I was a suit and tie dude going back and work. Can you vouch for him on the corporate side? I'm going to vouch for him this day. And we get Brimmer in the seat. And while I'm vouching for Brimmer, the cat who I'm talking to likes my style and was like, yeah, I want to sponsor what you're doing. So 1 year into running tournaments, I got a Nike deal. 1 year. I'm like, I'll just start doing tournaments a year. And next thing you know, I got a Nike deal. And I had that Nike deal for 7.5 years after. But so that's kind of like what got me into it. Once I started doing it, I understood like who I used to look up to was Greg Marius. EBC.
EBC,
Yeah, I wanted to kind of like get my business mind together to kind of hopefully aspire to be like a Greg Marius. I think he was the cat that everybody who ran a tournament. He's the model.
In New York. The way he put it together.
He's a model. He's a model globally, I think, man. I don't think if you got to pay homage to Greg Marius because I don't think any tournament was a global street ball tournament like the EBC the Rock. And I play ball, so cats can't pull it off me. I know they got a great thing that they do in Paris, but all of that stuff came off the success of what Greg Marius was doing on a street ball joint. He was the business cat from the streets with his basketball stuff that really held it down. And if you was trying to do something, I think he's the blueprint that you want to say, like, I want to kind of like be like him. And I was trying to use my business savvy to kind of like do that. Never got close, but still.
I'm trying to pull on, get on my Harlem guys and Bronx guys to see if we get in contact. Well, somebody that's involved with EBC in some kind of way.
Oh yeah. Gus, shout out to my man Gus. Gus is trying to hold it down for EBC. You know, I know a few people that's a part of that.
Cool. Well, we'll talk after this. Now listen. Now I'm at Funsport 2 years ago, Tillery Park.
Okay.
Down there watching my guy Arthur Lee Walker ref. Going to watch a couple of games. My guy grandson is playing, Maurice Doby.
Okay,
right?
Yes, my little guy right there, Momo.
So I you know, that's my guy's childhood buddy of mine. That's his grandson. So then I'm watching the game, and yo, he does something I've never seen before in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a lot. This kid scored 18 points in a row.
Oh, you was there for that game?
Yes. I posted it. I got it on film too.
Oh, snaps.
Let me tell you. First of all, let me just give y'all the background. So this is the Funsport's classic game.
Classic. That was a super classic game.
And I want to see if you can top this one after I tell you this. I know you was there, but I got to tell the people this.
Yeah, I was on the mic. Pause.
Most team is down. They got 4 guys. They got 4 guys. So each minute that their guys are late, they get deducted a point. The other team gets a point.
Yeah.
So the time is clicking. when the game starts, they're down 16 zip.
Damn, you got all the facts, Pimp. You got all the facts.
They're down 16 zip.
Yes, indeed.
So they're climbing back. You know, halftime, they're still down maybe 5 or 7 points, but they still down. Second half was a different story. It just seemed like their motor started clicking. And Mo just was on fire.
He was on fire.
Layup, threes, and ones. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, the way Mo played was out of this world. Hey.
Classic moment. So after that moment, I said, you know what? I'm going to make it down there every weekend just because of that. This is support because of the vibe of what was going on. And I haven't even met you yet.
Yo, that was, you know what? That's a great game to really kind of like, if you're going to be there for the first time, that was a great game, man. Like, that's one of the ones, if you ask me, yo, what were some of the great games you had in Tillery Park? That may be in the top 5 of the joints. Because you know what? The vibe of it was right. It was a playoff game. St. John's, so you know when Mo was playing with St. John's, they haven't lost, and that team hadn't lost in 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
They was they was coming from another game late, and Kareem, you know, Shooting Stars, who was with Riverside, they wanted me to forfeit the game. I was like, nah, this is my championship team. We can't, but they're going to be down. So you got an advantage. They're going to be down. And I kept saying, if you remember on the mic, I said, never underestimate the heart of a champion. Yeah. Never underestimate the heart of a champion. And they got mad because they saying that I was trying to cheat for them by how I was talking on the mic. And I was
there was no cheating going on. I watched the whole game.
Yeah, and I had the DJ kept saying, "There's Brooklyn in here, Brooklyn." And yo, man, that joint was it was a dope game. I remember that game. It was just a good game. Like Mo played like I've never seen Mo play before. Like I've watched Mo since he was like in the 6th, 7th grade. That game was just that's the game he's supposed to send to all the colleges or whatever to get him in on the free ride. So that was a good game. I remember ended up giving him a jacket. I was like, yo, you take everything that I got. This is your awards. You take everything that I got, champ. Like, you know what I mean? You can take all this. But yeah, that was a good one.
Oh man. Salute. So you got one?
That I played in or that I witnessed?
No, we're talking about your tournament, fam. We talking about your tournament.
So one that I witnessed that stands out to me was the game that not too many people showed that was there. I had Fireball at Baruch College. I forgot what the name of the team that he played on, but they playing against Gun Hill from the Bronx, Nesta and them. So Nate Robinson shows up and he's playing, he's playing with Sid Jones, United Brooklyn. He's playing with Sid Jones, United Brooklyn versus Gun Hill. And it's a game that everybody, yo, when I say Nate Robinson put on a better show than any dunk contest that he had, everybody who was at that game, that's probably one of their favorite games. He scored 52 points, but it was how he did it as the smallest guy on the court. He dominated Problem. He dominated all of those dudes. So that was one of those joints that I was like, that was a great game in my tournament. I could think of another one that was a great game is we played at Madison Square Garden. I got PSA Cardinals, who was Team Scan at that time, and they are playing against. I want to say that wasn't Purvis Ellis' team. I think it was Riverside that they're playing against. I forgot it was, but you got Isaiah Briscoe. That was a great game that I witnessed at the Garden. Seeing Isaiah Whitehead play his first game at the Garden in my tournament was another one that I remember. Watching Purvis Ellis and guys come with from Philadelphia playing in the Garden with these jerseys on. These was our jerseys at the Garden. Some good moments, man. Watching Kyle Anderson play at Thomas Jefferson High School, running the point at 6'4", was something special. I've been the benefit of seeing a lot of kids play and grow up in the tournament to the parts, in the early days when we had the shoe contracts and all that. At one point, I was the lead dude for all middle school basketball on the East Coast type joint. I was the lead guy. I was the lead guy. Me and Mike Melton, I think, shared that title or whatever. We was like the lead guys, but I think my events was kind of like making the exposure of my tournaments a little better because I was holding the games at Madison Square Garden or the Barclays Center. So that was like a big thing, kind of like. But my man Mike Melton in New Jersey was always been my guy. So if anybody ever thought that me and Mike Melton didn't get along, shout out to my dude. That's my A1 from day one, man. Even, you know what I mean? And we was both in a competitive situations from New Jersey and New York where we was holding it down. But we did that together, man. It was good.
Yeah, my guy Lorenzo Harrington said, man, another Brownsville great. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Lorenzo Harrington,
Renzo,
yeah.
Renzo definitely. Renzo's my guy, man. I remember me and Renzo going down to Philly, introducing me to Pat the Rock, and we was down there with an event going down there with him. Yeah, he was just saying that, yeah. Renzo's always a limelight dude. He could get buckets and he could play, but he a limelight dude. He gonna come in there with the nice glasses on. He come in like he going to the club, you know what I'm saying? So you got to watch your girl around Renzo. You got to watch your girl all the time. Mr. Steal Your Girl. You got to watch that cat, man. He a good brother.
That's my guy. He's always on here. Salute my guy, Renzo.
Yeah, so, definitely, man.
Now, you was about to put on one of the greatest tournaments in New York City history when you had the Catholic school versus the PSCL.
Hold on. Let's go back. Let me see if I can help the people. Yo, let me just tell you before you segue this is where I was in the beginning. Let me try to flip this joint on you real quick. This is the entrance to my house. When you come in my crib, you see this right here. This thing is one of my most motivational things to do all what I do. This is a story we get. So when you bring that up, sore spot for me. That's one of those things that.
And I heard the Catholic schools backed out.
Let's go detail. Let me be careful with the story so you know how this joint work. I'm telling you. So when I tell this, I'm telling you right from the gut when I tell you the story. I had this idea. I said, yo, Catholic school versus public school all-star games. I branded this joint. I did a whole thing with this joint. This was going to be like the signature piece for New York City basketball that was going to be big. It wasn't just the game. It was going to be like the wheelchair golden hoop vibe, right? But it was going to be where we honor all city, where we honor the coaches who just won. So just remember how this thing set up is you got the Catholic school versus the public all-stars, regardless of class. It wasn't just seniors. So if you was nice as a freshman, you could play in this joint. It wasn't just so. It was whoever was the best 12 players on both sides, we selected carefully. Then we took whoever won the champion, the coach, because Ruth Lovelace, boys and girls, had won it for the boys and girls. She was coaching. She was there. And who won it on the other side was St. Ray's. They won it from the other side. Bob Oliva was there. He is it Bob? I got his name now.
Yes, Bob Oliva.
Yeah, he was there. He was committed. So what happens is because our marketing was crazy, and Tiny at the same time was with Under Armour. Tiny gets on board, and he's on it now. He's making sure we got the product and everything that we need to kind of go through it. We got to underclass. Everything was right about this joint, but the Catholic school felt like, hold up. This joint is getting some traction, and we're not eating off of this joint. We're not eating. Ray Nash, okay, hold on. Oliver Antigua. That's right. I said
hold on. Did you say Ray Nash?
Ray Nash was in there, and all of those dudes from the Catholic school, they had meetings. They had all of this stuff about. So I'm giving everybody the facts of this joint that I never was able to discuss only to a small group of people. They always discussing this joint meeting. What they did is they told all the players that, and this I told you this regardless of class, if you play in this game, we're going to take your eligibility away. You can't come back to the school. Cass was afraid that they wasn't going to be able to. This is an NCAA violation. No, it's not a violation. There's no violation of the NCAA for this joint. This is a
wasn't Ray Nash the president of the Catholic School League back then?
No, he was with them. It was another guy. I forgot his name because I all these cats are out of my memory. There's another guy who was the president, but this went all the way through the president. So
wow, I would have thought a guy named like Ray Nash would have been down with something like that.
Not if he wasn't eating. Not if he wasn't eating. So all of them got it conspired. They all had meetings, bro. They had meetings on this joint. At this game, you got every news outlet at the game. ESPN covered the event. So everybody's at this joint. All the public school kids show up. Everybody shows up. The only people who crossed the picket line for me on the Catholic school joint was and these are my kids, my guys to the day. All the St. Ray's kids, Daniel Dago, Okoro, and Myron Hickman, The kids from Severian showed up. The kid that was going to Texas or whatever, not University of Texas, but he showed Brian Bernardi.
All right,
Bernardi.
we're gonna come back with the last segment because the time is running out.
I'm back, champ. We going overtime.
Let's go.
I'm back, champ. We going overtime.
That's right.
So
let's get some more people some time to get back in the room, all right?
Okay, no doubt.
Yeah. So get people time to get back in the room. And I got a little special surprise for you at the end of the show, man.
Oh, I love a surprise, John. I love a surprise. Sure, some love in the building.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
So,
yeah.
My guy, Mark said Ray Nash was on the board.
Ray Nash was more than on the board. Ray Nash was involved in all of those conversations. I know this firsthand. I got all the conversations through these dudes. They've been on conference calls with me. They was on a lot of stuff. So Ray Nash wasn't on the board in the distance. Ray Nash was directly involved in that process. Directly. It was somebody that started with a T. I forgot his name. He's the president. He was the president of the Catholic school. But anyway, they convinced all of these guys to not play. They Holy Cross had Marquise Watt. They wouldn't let him play. They really got to my man over there at Christ the King, because I had several guys from Christ the King that was committed, and that all of these guys was committed. These kids was committed in the game. Now, just think about it, man. All of these kids grew up playing in my tournament. I have good relationships at the time. I helped them shine. Case in point, Omar Calhoun, I let them hold a private workout for these kids for Christ the King to look at him. He was going to another school. I let you do private workouts in the back gym of fucking Jefferson so that you could get Omar Calhoun to come to your school. Now, all of a sudden, you flipping on me? This is why I got a problem with some of the coaches in the Catholic school. Because I remember on that time, some of them didn't stand in there with me. The guy that stand in there with me was Oliver Antigua. Oliver Antigua, I give him all the flowers. He stood
Same rage.
He said, yo, he said, Rick, due to what's going on, I can't just show up. I'm going to send my assistant. He sent George Lopez at the time. He said, I can't show up, but I'm going to send my kids. My kids is not going back out of your event. They coming, regardless of what they say. Because they was threatening Daniel Dingle, where you're not going to go to Temple, all kind of stuff. They was going to try to get in the way. All of this stuff happened. They threatened. Parents called. They said they're going to take my kid's scholarship. They said he can't come back to the school if he comes to the game. So
that's crazy.
I had 5 Catholic school kids. We took some kids from the PSAL. We put them on the other side. We had a good game. That was the opportunity for Desi Rodriguez, who was playing in the underclassmen game, to be seen. And that's how he stepped into the spotlight a little bit too. It was a great event. We had a dunk contest where we had a 3-point contest where we had girls in Under Armour uniforms. They was holding the basketballs and passing it to the kid. We had a dunk. It was a lot of stuff that was good about that event that would have carried it and moved it forward. Here's the play too. They shut it down. Here's what happened. The next year, what they did was give the event to the Mayor's Cup. The Mayor's Cup called my dude. Here's what they called my dude, who was the Under Armour dude, because I'm under Under Armour, and tried to get them to sponsor the event, and said the person that did it last year, the Catholic school is not messing with. He's telling my sponsor this. The sponsor is my best friend now, Jan. This is my best friend. He's telling me the whole transcript of the conversation. They said, no, we want you guys to do it. And that's how the Mayor's Cup is now happening. That's how you see what the Mayor's Cup is running is my event.
Yeah.
I held my event at Baruch. That's where my pro league was. You'll remember that the Mayor's Cup moved to Baruch too. They moved it to Baruch to stop me from doing the event. So all this stuff happened. This is a true story. So when I tell you I keep that thing in the front of my crib so so I can be remembered of that. That thing happened.
I've always said, listen, I'm like Dave Chappelle. I'm like a conspiracy theorist to the third power, right? When you look at the New York State Championship, when you get some time, I want you to scroll down the list. And I want you, because if you're a smart man, you're a numbers guy, you're going to say, this list doesn't look right. It's like somebody had a hand in it. Then you look at the New York State Mr. Basketballs, and just scroll down, and you're gonna see a pattern.
Yep. Oh,
because I've been studying this thing.
You right, because I think because some people they get along and they play along, and they, you know what I mean. So I've seen that. I've been exposed to that part of it. That event really kind of like really exposed a lot for me. It exposed a lot, and the personality that I have, I try to do right by folks. I'm not with that part. I wasn't with that part. Like I wasn't trying to, like that event, and the first time that I did it wasn't going to generate this crazy revenue. It wasn't there. That's what
No,
was happening.
It would have gave you a significant amount of. They were afraid that would have gave you a significant amount of power. At this point, it's not about the dollar amount. It's about who's spearheading this movement that can take the city of basketball to the next level where we don't have any involvement in it.
That's exactly, you hit it right on the head. That's what that came down to. I knew what I had envisioned, what I seen, what my plan was, and that event, that thing would have been something that we would still been going on today at a high level. That would have kind of like, for me, what I thought from it, that was kind of like gave New York City that one event, that in the school, that event that we would own, that we was ours, and that everybody's seen and had eyes on. That would have gave everybody an opportunity, the top players to come together and the college coaches to come in to see them. That would have paid homage to all the kids who did well that season. That was the vision of it. It wasn't about the loot at that time, but I think people seen what it could have been, and they jumped in the way and they kind of put the fire out before it started. So,
listen, we need to talk because.
But that was one of
hearing about what you went through, because I heard about it before.
Yep.
And then reading about the article, then seeing the articles with it says the Catholic schools tell the other schools not to participate. Trust me, there's a will, there's a way. And there's a reason why you still got that thing in your wall to keep you motivated. Yep. But we can make that happen.
No, it's right. I think I want to talk because it's something I definitely want to do. That's one of those things that was really close. People who know me know how I felt about that whole thing. So I'm gonna try to switch gears with you. You know,
listen,
maybe wipe the sweat off.
You got guys like Ted Gustis now that's in position of power now.
Yeah,
right. It's the tables kind of turn a little bit, so we'll talk. We'll definitely talk.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Got my guy. Oh, okay, he's up here. Eric Hicks.
Eric Hicks.
Our official sponsor, definitely. Show us a lot of love here.
Love Eric Hicks, man. Black man that's been doing it for a while. So we talk about an entrepreneur, and I see him write that, man. He's been that guy. Always been a favorable guy when I talk with him.
You see, you got the shirt on. You always support.
No doubt. Eric Hicks needs that, man, and we need to kind of like make sure we do more stuff to keep him in the forefront.
Yep, definitely. So let's talk about some. We talk about some classic moments. How important is family, and are you planning to pass any of this knowledge down to your children?
Man, if you follow me on social media or close to me, I think everybody knows how important my family is to me, man. Like I think I've sacrificed and I've done a lot to kind of like make sure that I keep my family together. My daughters are doing really well right now, just in terms of their own careers and their lives. But it was a journey, right? You know what I mean? Like I started out through this basketball stuff, having them and being able to maintain them to kind of like get to this part. And that's, you know what I mean? I think that's the gem for me. Like it's not, this basketball stuff has helped me. It's set me up. It's taught me a lot of skills to put me in different rooms. I've been in a lot of rooms, man. I've been in rooms with some real key people, but I've been in the hallways with some key people too. You know what I mean? In the PJs. So I've seen a lot, you know what I mean? From top to bottom. So family, I think, is important to me to kind of like keeping it together and using the relationships and stuff and the resources that I have to kind of put them in positions for win. So that's all. I mean, I'm glad you asked that. So that's really important to me.
No, we always kind of keep family close here on this show because that's very important to us over here as well.
But you know, it was important to me before the pandemic too. You know what I mean? I know how everybody's kind of like start to kind of like re-energize themselves around family. That it was important to me before and after. So
definitely. You got Mo Les wanting to say what's up, man.
Mo Les, what up? Which,
People show you some love, man.
no, I appreciate that, man.
What's your perception of New York City basketball today?
You know what? New York, I'm still in love with New York City basketball, and I do events in Dallas. I do events in Atlanta. I've done some events outside of the city and stepped outside and seen places, but I'm in love with New York City basketball. I do think we need to kind of look at trying who's the lead of New York City basketball, right? So like who's the gurus that everybody respect? I think we're in an era right now, if you ask me, where people just don't respect nobody right now, right? So let's just say, me 20 years in the game, some other people 20 years in the game. It's not like I could come to the young people and try to influence them in a certain way. Sometimes they got their own thing and they green light with it. When I was coming up, we had some gurus that we respected. They said, chill, we need to do it like this. People was chilling and they did it like this, but that's not New York City. Don't seem like that we need that part back, because somebody needs to kind of like help us kind of like protect us from ourselves. I do think there's just too many fires burning, in my opinion. And if it don't apply, let it fly, right? I think it's too many fires burning.
Yeah. Please talk that talk.
Yeah, yes. I'm just going to give it to you how I see it. It doesn't mean that I'm right. I just no. So I think it's too many fires burning. So that's everybody, too many like different trainers. Everybody's doing this part. They doing it this way. They teaching it this way and teaching it this way. But we got all of these fires burning, but ain't nothing hot though. Ain't nothing hot. We got a lot of fires burning. Ain't nothing. So when I say it ain't nothing hot, everybody's doing something. Everybody got a team. Everybody got a trainer. Everybody got something. But all the college coaches, we ain't flooding the NCAA like that. We ain't flooding the, we ain't flooding. Kids is getting opportunities, right? Kids are going to college. And they are, and I expect that. When I look at my man Eric checking in now, I see his son that's Elliot. I was checking in. I see his son. I love that. I love all of them grow up, get to that point where the tuition is paid. You see me on my. Am I there?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Where the tuition is paid. I love all of those stories, especially with the little shorties that I connected with when they was little. I love to be a part of that Funsport. They played in the Funsport game, and I love that part, right? I just want to see more kids going. I think we all want to see that, right? So what's the recipe? How do we get not just some, how do we get more of? What do we got to do differently to get more? And I'm not blaming the trainers. They're trying to do their part. I'm not blaming it. Everybody's trying to do a part. Everybody's trying to like do a part. But is your part really working? Is it working for the greater good, though? Is it working for the greater part? Is it just working for you, or is it working for the greater part? And I may be rambling, and I don't know what that answer is, because I ain't got the cure to cancer. But I think we need to kind of figure out, collectively, what could we do? To me, what that looks like is, you do your part, you do your training part, but a couple of times a month, we need to get your player and that player in the gym. We need to get them in this gym where all the top players are playing in. At least maybe 5 times a month or something, like 4 or 5 times a month. There's a spot where the best players are in the gym working at a high level. And there's high level people that we've identified that's working with those high level kids. Now, they're not working with them to steal them, to put them on the road somewhere. They're not working with them to kind of like
give them to their school.
So these are neutral cats, but we need to find a situation, a setup where we can get the high level people who we all, by democracy, we say, nope, that's the guy. He should be in that room. Not because he knows the person, not because he got a good relationship with the person. We need to kind of like, nah, we pledge him in. We vote him in. He should be there. This person should definitely be in that room. And 30 to 50 of the top kids in the city are in that room getting the quality instruction. They're getting high level stuff, but they're competing with each other. Sometimes what I've seen is that they run from me. Nah, I ain't going to compete against them. Nah, I ain't going to compete against them. Consistently. They need to be in there consistently. And we don't need, and we got to get to a point where I've seen this happen in other spots, Glenn, is that, like I may not like you, but I love my city. So we're gonna rock out for the half of the city. So
that's the problem that, you just said some of the key things that me and my guys always talk about.
Yeah.
Right? Fixing those problems. That's key right there. Those high quality runs.
Quality runs. You know what I mean? You know, I think has the possibility to do it. I'm seeing signs of it. Book Richardson just came to the Gauchos gym and started to. I've seen the energy. I could feel the energy of Book Richardson in Brooklyn for what he's doing in the Bronx. I could feel that.
Yes.
And shout out to my man Book.
Yes.
Book has come back, and I feel the energy of what he's trying. I could feel what he's trying to. Like, Book is not just a Harlem guy, Bronx guy. Book is a New York City guy. Yeah. I feel the energy of what Book is trying to do up there from a distance. I haven't been in the Gauchos gym yet, but I could feel it. And I want to shout Bookie out. And I feel like he's on to something, what I'm talking about. I may not be describing it right, but I think Book is showing an example from the workouts that's happening there to the instruction that I see happening to the tournaments I see going on. It feels like something is happening. And hopefully it's not selfishly for the Gauchos. It needs to be something for the whole city to uplift it.
Listen, and if he can't get it done in Brooklyn, we need to put something like that together to feed our guys here in Brooklyn. Because I'm going to say this. I had Coach Norm Robinson from Kansas to be at St. John's. And he was like, you know, sad to say, Glenn, but guys like myself and other big-time coaches aren't coming back to New York to get guys. And they want to. They want to come back to New York. But we just got to give them a reason to.
We got to give them a reason to, and we can't make it difficult when they come in here, right? So Kamani Young is a guy, you know, Kamani, he's coaching at UConn now, associate head coach. Kamani's from the city, so he knows how to navigate, kind of like. But we don't want to make it difficult for when a guy like Kamani wants to come in, right? So when I say New York, and people are going to notice it's a fact, I got a good kid. The coach that coached him in middle school wants to be involved. The coach that coaches him in high school wants to be involved. The AAU high school coach wants to be involved. The mom wants to be involved, and who don't really know basketball, they want to be involved. So it's like 7 or so, and I'm just using it as an example. This might not be everybody, but it might be 7 or so people that want to be at the table when there should really only be 1 or 2 voices. And that 1 or 2 voices need to represent all 7 people, and everybody needs to trust in them. Because you need to trust a cat like Cat or somebody who's been coaching the kids, or Tommy Swinton who's been coaching the kids from little. Tommy kind of helped them go. Then he passed them on to somebody. But everybody wants to be acknowledged at that moment and be a part of the recruiting process when it can't happen. So now the college coaches probably feel a little concerned. It's like, damn, if I come to recruit in New York, I got to talk to 7 or 8 more to get to the kid. I got to shake his hand. I got to shake his can. He got his pocket open. He wants me to go.
I got to give him, I got to give him some money. I got to give him some sneakers.
He don't really know the gamut. He don't really know what he's talking about. He talking too loud. He talking crazy out there in the gym. I can't mess with this. I can't mess with this. Is too much. And me talking around to coaches and talking to players, I found that that's some of the problems of recruiting in New York that they've dealt with too. So if we're going to fix our shit, we got to be honest about our shit in terms of how to fix it. We need to kind of, those are some of the, this is just Rick the OG after a few years of doing this. That's what I've seen and what I think we need to kind of like move forward. Because New York, I love New York. I want to see a lot of kids win. I want to see a lot of kids win. And some kids got to be honest with themselves. If you're not Division I, Division II, offer some good places to play basketball and open your opportunities up. Duncan Robinson, the kid playing in Miami Heat, was a Division III player, Jan.
Facts.
He played
Division III. People need to check out his story.
He played Division III. So so some of our kids get so caught up, and if it's D1 or D none, if I don't go D1, I'm going back to the block with the homies. Nah, you could go to a Division II school and have a great career, get your number retired, and open up an opportunity for yourself. Get into a camp, open up opportunity for yourself. Go play overseas and get some paper.
Yeah, you know one of the great lessons Terrence Renton said last night was, after being Mr. New York, right? Mr. Basketball New York, and then leading Texas University in scoring with 2,306 points, and then getting drafted, he had to start back over from the beginning. He had a hard time doing that.
Yeah,
seeing, you know, not being able to play, you know, just working on your game, already not knowing that the NBA already got their guys to score. They already have their team. You just got to make your way on there and be happy that you're there and keep climbing and don't get frustrated. And I think that happens with guys, what you said, right in high school, not even in the NBA. I'm just using them as an example because it happens to dudes on the highest levels.
Yep, absolutely.
And when things don't go right for dudes, they're ready to transfer, leave, you know, quit, hug the block like a mailbox, and it don't add up.
No perseverance. They got to have that perseverance, and that starts, you know, I try to talk to some of the parents when they're in my tournament, because it starts like in grade school. Like, your kid gets frustrated because they didn't get in the game and you want to storm out of the gym. Like, this is the time to teach them all those skills right now about how to deal with the coach, because, you know, if you played at Fairleigh Dickinson, you played Division I basketball too, and so did I. You know, once you get on campus, the coach takes over, and this cat is yelling at you. He's doing, and I had a problem with that. He's doing all kind of stuff that your coach that you raised you didn't do, and you don't know how to adjust to that transition. You don't know how to deal with the coach that's on your back and yelling at you, cursing, and feel like you getting jerked, and you're not doing, you know what I mean? You got to be able to push past, because every time as a kid, when it was uncomfortable, you ran. Every time when you was younger, when your mom's packed it up, or somebody, the coach, and you went to another team, or you traded. All those things our kids need. I feel like our kids need to get a little more toughness with them. Deal with that. Earn minutes. Get on the team where you got to earn minutes sometimes. You know what I mean? You got to prove yourself in practice. Coaches got to be fair with kids too. They got to be fair with kids and not try to play a kid because you have a political connect to another organization or something like that too, man. I've seen it, man. I got a guard. I mean, I want to plug this kid. I got a godson that's playing at Al Xavier Lutheran right now. 6'8", 6'9", might be 6'10", shoot on the wing. He's here in New York now, coming from Atlanta. Well, I want him to be I'm trying to like push him to kind of like be a dog in that fight too. Like, you got to go in there and you really got to challenge players on the team, because you ain't coming here with the carpet rolled out for you.
That's right.
You got to get in there. Just because you 6'9", 6'10", don't guarantee nothing, because you can see like the Rockets, they'll play small ball. Now you can play small ball and everybody versatile can handle the ball and they can go get it. You got to prove yourself every time from the moment you get there. And I'm trying to encourage this young man, if you listen to my godson, Kusami Draper, you got to like go after it all the time.
What's his name?
Kusami Draper, man. He's at 6'9", 6'10". He plays at Al. He just transferred to Al Xavier Lutheran.
My guy, John Arnold just got a job over there, man. That's definitely
he did?
Yeah,
John Arnold from Long Island Light. Yes.
Yeah, that's my guy.
John Arnold's a good guy. Played at St. Francis.
We played against each other when he was at Manhattan Center, and we played with each other in the Broncos.
You know what? If John Arnold's there, he's a good guy. He got a good head on his shoulder. He understands the game. They got some good, talented coaches there. Peter Way's good. Charles Jones, you know what comes with Charles Jones. He's gonna make sure he's tough. So they got Dana Dingle's involved in the program. They got a list of credible, proven guys that's done it. You know what I mean? He got to be a sponge, get that information, but challenge guys. You got to be a dog now. You got to start biting niggas. Pardon the language.
Listen, that's all good. I know there's two coaches. You know, well, we already mentioned one, Coach Haskins. We already mentioned Coach Reynolds, but two people that are still here with us, Coach Haskins on this side and Coach Screen.
Yes.
Right? In Flatbush, who've been doing it over 40 years and been helping kids and been shaping kids young, been getting them young, especially Coach Screen. Get them young.
Screen. Best shout out to Coach Screen, man. Long time in the game of doing it, man, and helping kids. Much
and
respect.
Also, and Erasmus all great.
I was about to say that as Erasmus. That's why, you know what? When you sent me that and you said about the scoring joint, I was thinking of him and his son Paco, and I was like, I can't go in front of those cats, man. I can't stand up here.
Paco went to Xaverian.
Yeah, Paco went to Xaverian. My fault. He did. He went to Erasmus.
Right, but then you had like Billy Cunningham, right?
I think I might have put more points up than Billy Cunningham. I don't think he scored that much. You know, the game was slower. The game was slower. The game was slower. I know he made it to the league, but the game was slower back then. You know what I mean? The game was a little more fast-paced. I think I might have scored more points than Billy Cunningham.
I don't know if I scored.
I'm thinking of Calvin Bowman, all those cats that came through the hall. But I did put up a lot of points in one season.
All right, so last two questions. The best high school player you played against, the best college player you played against, and the best pro.
The best high school player I played against was Dave. I always tell him this when he used to come to coach, was Dave Edwards. We played against Andrew Jackson several times when I was at Erasmus, and Dave Edwards each time put on a show. And let me tell you a little bit how this transitions to college. Dave Edwards comes to our school one time, and we're playing him, and he's killing us. He dribbles over to his coach. This guy, Corey Straker, who's guarding him, was so intense. He dribbles over to his coach as the time is expiring. He puts the ball on the floor and slams it on the floor, but the horn didn't go off yet. The kid on my team dives on the floor for the loose ball, and the horn went off. I thought that was the sexiest shit ever I seen, right? I thought that was the sexiest. It was so smooth. Dave put the ball on the floor and went to the bench. The kid dived on the floor. Everybody's looking at him like he's laughing. They laughing. He's goofy. It's crazy. So let me tell you, I get a Dave Edwards moment. We playing at Iona. I forgot what team we playing. They inbound me the ball. I feel like I'm going to do the Dave Edwards moment. I'm going to pound it on the floor, and I'm going to run to the locker room. I did the pound on the floor, and I ran to the locker room, but I did this shit with 2 seconds left. The cat picked it up underneath their basket, almost laid it up, and all the alumni and boosters booed me to the locker room. I ain't played no more the second half. So I always tell Dave that story, so I got to share it with you. I thought
rest in peace, Dave Edwards.
Now, in college, and if Bam is listening to this because we played in the MAC, the guy that used to kill us back then was this kid, Doremus Benjamin. Doremus Benjamin played for Siena, I believe. He played for Siena. He was leading the nation in scoring. He was leading the nation in scoring. This cat was a bucket. It was hard to guard this dude. He was hard to guard him. I had the assignment of trying to guard this cat as a junior in college at Iona, and this cat straight cooked it. And I had a problem with Terry DeHare too, but the whole nation did.
That's
with
right.
Terry DeHare, when we played Seton Hall. As a pro, I used to play a lot with Pro City and with Mr. Couch at the Feli joint. I'm trying to think who gave me a hard time and who was an NBA cat. I mean, I didn't have a hard time. I mean, I played against Skip. He never really went at me and killed me like that. I just remembered, I tell you, that moment with Kenny Smith where I didn't want to play ball no more. That's the pro that I remember.
That's it.
I didn't think I could make it playing basketball. Yeah, I didn't think I could make it playing basketball no more after Kenny Smith did that to me in the workout. Yep, man, that was it, man.
Listen, man, I appreciate your story, brother. You know what I'm saying? And now that I know we're on the same wavelength as far as New York City basketball, where it need to go, man. I want to definitely stay in contact with you. Whatever,
absolutely,
we can do with each other to meet. Still sharp and still, whatever idea we can throw to help build New York back to where it is, man. Just let me know, brother.
Definitely, I definitely appreciate you.
And I'm definitely gonna be reaching out to you as well.
Definitely appreciate you having me and all the guys that you're doing, man. Because for guys at this moment to be able to share their stories, and then maybe it's whatever something I said tonight that impacts another kid or somebody else or an adult. It's cool, man. Keith Stroud, thank you for staying in with us. And yo, Keith Stroud always ducking me when I come to Atlanta, man. I be going to Atlanta. This cat want me to come out when I'm on my way leaving, man. I got to get to Keith Stroud. Next time I'm in Atlanta, we got to hang out, man. We got to hang out. The bottles is
and that's been my guy forever, and he's been done too, because I've been telling him to get in the show and tell a story.
Connection.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, man. Oh, snap.
Right.
Oh, yo, what's that? Who did that?
Look, you don't even know that's what my guy was back here doing.
Oh, snap. That's dope. Spell my name. You gotta put that E in there. But that's dope, though.
You gotta put that E in there. I'm gonna make sure you put that E in there.
Yo, let me buy a vowel. Oh,
so we do for my guys that come on Basketball Heads, man.
Ah, that's dope, man. I like that, man. Y'all gonna keep that up there, or you?
Nah, this is for you, champ.
Oh man, that's dope. I like that. I appreciate that. Tell your artists I appreciate that. That's good love right there. I like that. I like that boost that y'all put to the show. That's dope right there. That's a good vibe.
For sure, man. This is what we do, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that boost, man.
You guys have done a lot for our community, doing a lot for New York City, and doing a hell of a job for Brooklyn. So we definitely want to show you the love, man. And thank you for coming on the show. And let's keep our lines open, man, to make some things happen.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you, King.
Appreciate you too, man. Listen, tonight Oh, before you leave,
Yeah.
who would you like to nominate to be on the show? Because Coach Haskins nominated you.
Okay, if I had, I wonder if you got this first. Hold on, let me just think. Does it have to be in Brooklyn or it could be? Where does it have to be at?
New York City, baby. They got, they don't have to live here. They could be from here. They put in their work here. Like Kim Hampton, she not from New York City, but she played for the Liberty. And her daughters, play for Bishop Locker High School. So it's all connected.
I want to get somebody that's entertaining that really has a great story too that I'm thinking of. Like,
hey, just take your time. You can always hit me back and call me.
But I'm gonna nominate some things right here in the show for people seeing. I think like Malik Russell has a story that he almost made a pros and kind of what he went through. Abdul Fox has a story who I talked about today. I think he has a story. If you could get my man, he's an assistant coach he played at Rutgers. He's the assistant coach at Dayton right now. I can see his face, but I can't. I'm terrible with names. He has a story. You already had Ice Reynolds. I'm gonna give you the name for the guy that played at Dayton because me and him got a pitch. I just can't get his name. He played at Rutgers. He's a Dominican cat from uptown, from Washington Heights. He got a story too, man. He got a story to his thing. Donald Taylor has a story.
Donald Taylor's my guy. He went to FDR. Somebody just hit me up. They're looking for his number.
Yeah, Donald Taylor, I'm close with. Donald Taylor likes to really be low. He's a police officer, but he has a story that I think can inspire kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and listen,
where he came from.
That's right. And tell him Glenn is, it's Glenn's show. Trust me.
My man Kaheem is shouting. I got to shout out my man Kaheem down in Atlanta, but Craig Carter has a story too. Craig Carter's my guy. He's a coach in Wisconsin right now, female. Yeah, with the girls. Yeah, but he has a story. We joke every day, so I'm in touch with him. But
now that Craig Carter's my guy. We came out the same year. Trust me, that's my dude.
He's a cat that you should definitely kind of like talk to, man. So it's guys out there. Booger, Booger has a story. He's on Sports Illustrated. He's on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Trust me. We already did the Booger thing. He know where I'm at.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So those guys definitely have stories, man. But I appreciate it. Todd Davis. Don't forget Todd Davis. Everybody usually forgets about
Todd Davis is my guy. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Todd Davis, Charles Jones, Lamar Jones. I reached out to all those guys. I didn't reach out to Todd yet, but let's put the word out there.
No doubt, man. We appreciate you and let your brand keep growing, champ.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
All right, cool.
Salute.
Cool.